Welcome to the Databricks Skill Builder series. We're glad you're here.
Good afternoon. My name is Zach Jacobson, and today I'm going to show you guys how we can use Genie with our agent framework. And so to start off, I just wanted to explain for some people that don't know what Genie is. Genie is our text-to-SQL interface where you can ask questions against your data within Unity Catalog, and you can get answers in plain English, right? So this is an example of a question I would ask Genie. So show me the top reviewer in the month of July. This data is just some Amazon public data sets over Amazon reviews for books. So it provided me the answer of the just customer ID, and it shows the SQL query, right? Pretty cool. So something that Genie is not amazing at is when you flood the individual Genie space with a ton of data, right? So it's really good at about 10, maybe 15 tables max. But after you start to overload that with, let's say, 30 or 40, the architecture basically doesn't become as powerful. So what if we could scale, let's say, different business units across different Genie spaces? So that's what I'm going to kind of show today. So I set up three different Genie spaces. This is a demo, right? But essentially, this is broken up into music, Amazon Music reviews, baby reviews, and book reviews. They're just one table in each Genie space. But if you can imagine, you populated each of these with different business units data. So maybe it's like finance and HR and IT, right? And you have 10 or 15 tables in each of the Genie space. If you could leverage all three of them together, it would become very powerful, right? So that's what I'm going to show today. I'm going to navigate over to a Databricks app, which I have right here. And what I'm going to start out with is this app is tied into a deployed agent to a model server endpoint on Databricks. And then the agent is actually going to route traffic to the different Genie spaces that I showed earlier here. And it's going to allow them to talk to each other. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to ask a question. So I'm going to say, show me the top reviewer for baby products. Launch that. So while that launches, I just want to show you how the agent is supposed to be routing. So what you should see is the agent redirecting traffic to the Genie API, and it should go to this baby review space, right? So if I go here, it did. You can see the wheel spinning. It's pretty quick, right? It generated it just as I expected. It shows the SQL, but basically it says this customer and how many times it's reviewed for baby products. So this customer is going to populate here. So it gives you a nice summary, right? It says the customer ID, this 1208407, has submitted 192 reviews, making the most prolific reviewer of baby products on Amazon. Cool. Now I'm going to move on. I'm going to say, okay, now I want to say, has this customer also reviewed books? If so, show me the latest review and product title, right? So now I'm going to start linking the Genie spaces together with this agent. So it's going to route the contextual history to the next Genie space, hopefully. So if I send this, right, it's going to think. But if I go back to here, I'm going to go to my book Genie space, because that's the question I asked. And I'm hoping it shows up. Okay, cool. So look at this, right? This is really cool. Hello, right? This assistant. I'm assisting with this table. This is the part where it gets awesome. So I passed the contextual history from my Databricks app. So it knew that the last customer I was asking about was this customer. Here's the information. And now it passed that to the question. And then it returns an answer. So this is really cool. So it says the query retrieves the most recent review date, and it gives you the product title, and it's specific to that same customer ID as above, right? So that's the same one we found in the baby products. The same reviewer also reviews books on Amazon, and this is the one that it reviewed most recently. Okay, pretty cool. And then finally, just to wrap up the third request in the third Genie space, I'm going to say the same thing, but I'm going to say for music, um, and see what it says, right? So now it's going to take the contextual history from the last two requests that routed us appropriately to the Genie spaces. And I should see that request populate here. Okay, cool. So it gives us the contextual history. It's thinking, it's trying to figure out, oh, wait, it doesn't find anything. That's because this customer ID doesn't exist in the music table because it's never actually, that customer has never reviewed anything on the Amazon Music reviews. Okay. So that would appear in here. It's a live demo, but basically it would say it's not reviewed anything and voila, right? So pretty cool. So why is that important? Again, just iterating, right? Genie spaces are really good across 10 or 15 tables. After you flood that with 30 or 40, right, it kind of comes confused. The metadata management in combination with the LLM doesn't act as well. So if we could segregate these out into different business units, but then still tie them together with an agent that routes traffic appropriately, then these can become really powerful, right? A little snippet of how I kind of did this. Um, if you go to Unity Catalog, you can go to this functions tab. These are super powerful, right? So I created four different functions. The first one is basically the router function that there's a lot in here, but essentially it takes a pre-configured Genie space and it can pass stuff dynamically to it. So what do I mean by that? If I go to one of these sample functions, I call that Genie query function that I just showed, and I pass it information, right? Okay. And then uh, lastly, this all is managed in Unity Catalog, right? So you can control the access to the tables, the functions, the Genie spaces, the agent, everything, right, is managing Unity Catalog, which makes it even cooler. Um, that is about it I had for this. If you guys want more details, please reach out to me on LinkedIn, or you can email me at my Databricks email, which is zach.jacobson@databricks.com. I'd love to walk through more details if you have questions. I hope you enjoyed this and take care.